Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Monday the 15th of May 2023. In today's Mill news, absolutely stunning, amazing game and result at the Den today from the under-21s. Mill under-21s pull off stunning comeback against Hull City to secure playoff final place. The Lions will face Sheffield United after winning their semi-final tie against Hull City in extra time. I was at the game today at the Den. It was an absolutely incredible game, incredible, and in many ways sums up the season of Mill under 21s. Their ability to just keep going and going and going and play right up until the end, to often come up with a goal right at the end that either gives them the draw, gives them the win. Throughout the season, they've done it multiple times. I believe they're now still unbeaten at home, which is incredible. Like I said, absolutely incredible team, incredible result. It did not start off well. Before we start reading this, I will say Hull City were a well drilled side. They had styles of play that were well drilled. You could see that they worked through a few things. Not only that, but they were well drilled in the dark arts, shall we say. They were how do we put it? Dirty northern bastards, I think we'll say. Body checking, shoving, pulling, dragging, all that fun stuff, which the referee didn't really bother about. But if when the throw-in wasn't taken in the right place and needed to go back 5 yards, so he was all over that. The referee was absolutely all over that kind of thing. But Hull's dirty play, not bothered, and they're time wasting as well. Once we'll see in the match report, this will make sense. But they went 2-0 up early on, and after about 20 minutes in the first half, they were time wasting, and the referee did nothing about it. They did nothing about it, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And in the end, it came up on them because they ended up losing. So, boo fucking who. Millwall under-21s booked their place in the Professional Development League playoff final after beating Hull City 4-3 at the Den. The Lions qualified for the semi-final by winning the southern section of the league, while the Tigers had finished second in the northern section behind Sheffield United, who qualified for the final with a 4-0 win against Bristol City earlier in the afternoon. Before this game kicked off at 2, the result was in that Sheffield United absolutely smashed Bristol City 4-0. So that's the team that finished first in the northern section absolutely smashing the team that finished second in the southern section. So the hosts started well and could have been ahead inside the opening 5 minutes after winning and throwing down the right. Sesh Nino, Adam Malaki's long throw feigned Edomu and Maku in the box, but his powerful volley was scooped just past the post. They were, however, caught out by a controversial offside call after 8 minutes, as George Walker was caught out of position down the right. It allowed Tim Sims to cross the ball into the box, with Millwall unable to clear as Harry Wood stabbed the ball into the net from the edge of the box. Imaku looked to get the host back in the game seconds later, but he fired wide with a low shot from just outside the area. Kevin Nugent's men were dominating but found themselves 2-0 down after 14 minutes as an unmarked Raj Palit was allowed to curl a low shot into the bottom corner. 2-0 down after 14 minutes. I'm sitting there thinking, I come all the way here for this. But to be fair to the crowd, they didn't respond pretty negatively. They thought, everyone's just a bit muted. But I guess because they know, to be fair to the crowd, fair play to everyone who was there today, because there certainly was an effort made. I saw school kids there, so I'm assuming they got pulled out of school early, like doctor's appointment in quotes, whatever. But yeah, the crowd is normally between like 100 and 200 people, and most of that being family, and agents and players like that, and things like that. But I think it was like probably double that, like 300, 300 to 400. So fair play for that. The momentum of the game dipped after the second goal with another controversial offside decision flagging Tom Lee as the striker robbed Alfie Taylor of the ball. 2 minutes later, Maku was brought down inside the box after a powerful run from the right flank, but nothing was given. The Irish youth international was then fouled by Will Jarvis, who picked up a yellow card before Tom Lee fired an ambitious long-range effort over the bar. Yeah, dirty hole. They were targeting two players mainly, Udomu Maku and Romain Esse, which are the two with most first-team experience, isn't it? So they obviously did their homework. The frustrations were growing, but Mill found a way back into the game in the first half stoppage time. As Maku was played through on goal, his shot was saved by Hardy Fisk, but Hull could not prevent Nana Boateng from forcing the ball over the line with a header. Yes. While the goal should have given them confidence in the second half, they found themselves 3-1 down as Jarvis was given time and space to run between Walker and Carl Smith, firing a powerful effort into the back of the net from close range. Millwall had to work hard to prevent Hull from scoring again seconds later, clearing the ball off the line at the last minute. The Tigers were on top as Sims forced Joe Wright into a good save from close range flick. Mill came close down the upper end, but neither Leahy nor Esse were able to connect with Boateng's cross from the left flank, prompting Nugent to bring top scorer Abdul Malik on for midfielder Shamar Lawson on the hour mark. Yeah, and I think that changed the game actually. Abdul Malik he's something special. He's like literally Lionel Messi. And it's a shame because he's kind of small, and I doubt he's gonna get a chance in English football. I think he's gonna probably have to go to somewhere like Spain or that if he wants to crack on. But his vision, his speed, his acceleration, his passing, it made a difference when he came on. Like for the equaliser, his little dinked header. I mean, he's an absolutely amazing player. It wasn't single-handed. Again, like he doesn't do. He's very underrated because he's not selfish. He sets other people away and just smiles at what he created. He's not. So you wouldn't look at him and think, wow, like I don't know if football people can see it and look at him and go, like, yeah, like he changed the game. He doesn't like do it himself. He brings other people into the game. Yeah, so nothing was clicking for Millwall as Maku saw his close range shot saved by Fisk. The attacker was almost played through on goal by Esse soon after, but the 18-year-old did not find the right pass. Just before the 70th minute, Abdul Malik launched a counter and played Leahy in one down the left, but the striker rolled a weak shot into the hands of the goalkeeper. I think that was the one where he could have laid it over to Maku, but he didn't. And everyone was like, oh, why did you do that? Why didn't you pass it? The Lions' pressure paid off with just over 15 minutes to play, however, and Maku was brought down inside the box by captain Jake Leake, allowing the January signing to calmly slot his penalty into the bottom left corner to cut Hull's lead to a single goal. Yeah, that made it 3-2. The Tigers had to put everyone back as Millwall flooded bodies forward in search of a late equaliser. Their confidence returned. They were unable to force the ball over the line. Abdul Malik eventually managed to beat Fisk with a powerful shot from the edge of the area, but the flag was raised for offside. Pressure was building, and while Hull tried to frustrate their opponents, they could not prevent Esse from prodding the ball over the line from point-blank range to level the scores in the 5th minute of stoppage time, sending the match to extra time. Seconds in, Abdul Malik smashed a shot into the side, netting from a tight angle down the right. It was clear that Millwall were out to kill the game off early on. When Esse made it 3-3 in literally the 95th minute, when it was in injury time, the whole City players just disintegrated. They just went. They just thought, oh, this is not going to happen, and they just lost it. They were well drilled. They had a game plan, and it was working. And then when it didn't work, they didn't have a plan B. Maybe they did, but they couldn't execute it. They were just like, oh shit, it didn't work. So. And after that, it was just all Millwall. Well, it wasn't all Millwall. There was Joe Wright did have some decent saves that he had to make, and he did make them. What are we on? A long throw found Alfie Allen in the box, which powerful blocked The ball bounced over to substitute Frankie Baker, who launched a rebound into the top corner to give the Lions a 4-3 lead. Millwall looked the likelier to score again in the latter stages of stoppage time, but they crucially kept Hull quiet to book their place in a playoff final against the Blades. And the team was Wright, Walker, Smith, Ockley, Adam Maliki, S.A. Allen, Walker, Boateng, Maku and Leahy. And obviously there's no subs here, but I think we'll probably get the subs in the official match report tomorrow. But if Stevenson come on, he looked very good. I think he's still an under 18 player, Stevenson. He looked very good. He played as centre back. Yeah, he was very good. I believe obviously Abdul Malik came on, and someone came on from Mac. I think Stevenson came off from Smith. Abdul Malik came off from Lawson, which is not listed there for some reason. How many players there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely outstanding. I'll just say it's been an absolute pleasure watching this team this season. They play some amazing attacking football, very direct. They play right up until the end of the game. They never give up, and they got their rewards. They just utterly outstanding. I've been to nearly, I think, all of the games at the Den except for one, and I went to the Watford away game that was at Kings Langley. And I think I saw another couple of games live on YouTube, away games, Reading, Cardiff, I think so. Yeah, it's been absolutely a pleasure. Not only that, but the players that were involved that aren't here today: Seb Droz, Arthur Penny, Frankie Vid, who's just signed and already scored a couple of goals from centre back. He signed from Bromley in January, I believe. But yeah, like players leaving the team to go out on loan at Torquay, at Maidstone, various places, and then coming back in and just slotting back in and doing a job. And you got players like S.A. and Amaku being involved in the first team squad and then coming back to the under 21s and joining in, not being like Billy Big Spuds and being thrown their weight around, just mucking in with the rest of them and playing the role that they need to play to help the team win. And they did that, and the team is now in the final. And I believe that the final will be at the Den. It's not a neutral venue, because Sheffield United got 60 points in their league season and Millwall got 61, so we have home advantage because we got more points. And when I was leaving the ground today, I waited for the team to get the shield off of Steve Kavanagh, and then literally right after that I left. I went to the toilet and then I left. And I heard someone saying, two people that didn't know each other, you know when two people don't know each other, they have like a really like loud conversation and then other people can chip in. I heard one guy say that it's going to be at the Den, and it's either going to be on Saturday or Monday. So I don't know if it's this Saturday or next Monday. I assume so because I want to hang around. But we'll probably find out tomorrow, I imagine. But yeah, that would be good. And seeing as it's the final, it would be nice if whichever one they choose. Probably for me personally, Monday would be better. Maybe if they put it on later, like a 5 o'clock kickoff, that might be handy for people coming from work, so they could see the game and then not have to. They could just finish work and go to the game. They could finish school and go to the game. I don't know if that's possible to do it at Monday 5 p.m. kickoff. Probably Sheffield United probably don't want that because they have to travel all the way from the north. But whichever one they choose, Saturday or Monday, and whatever time, if they could live stream it, probably might be a bit handy. match pass for like a fiver. They've done that previously this season. That would be good. So yeah, moving on to this. Kevin Nugent reacts as Mill under-21s down Hull City in playoff semi-final. Goals from Nana Boateng, Idoma, Maku, Romain Esse and Frankie Baker helped the Lions secure a playoff final against Sheffield United. This is from southwarknews.co.uk. Because I'm bringing you this because I think the official site hasn't got it up yet. Don't know if the geezer's on holiday or what, but or he's just had his day off. But Kevin Nugent was disappointed by the way Millwall U21s approached the first half of their Professional Development League playoff semi-final tie, but was delighted by their character and determination to come 3-1 down. The Lions were pegged back by 2 goals at the start of the match, but struck back through Nana Boateng just before half-time, while the Tigers scored again just after the break. Millwall managed to level things up in stoppage time before winning the match in the early stages of extra time, setting up a playoff final against Sheffield United. Nugent labelled the match as exciting. This is the kind of, to be fair, this is the kind of match that managers hate. Managers love 1-0. So 1-0, the defence does their job, keeps a clean sheet, and then the attack does their job and gets a goal. Managers love 1-0s. They absolutely love them. This kind of game that the fans love, where you've got, and then the TV companies love, the managers hate this because obviously defending is not being done properly because you've conceded 3 goals. But admitted that his team needed to do more in the early stages to secure an easier win. However, he highlighted the mental strength in his squad as a key attribute, while also praising Hull for an incredibly competitive matchup. It was exciting, but sometimes you look at it and think it's a shame that we haven't got a big crowd watching it. He told me today. We had that a few times this season. At half time, although we were down, the goal just before the break was a big one for us. I said to the lads that I thought we were playing at 50 or 60% of our maximum, that we could improve and that we'd come from behind before. We had that belief to carry on and do it. Even when we went 2-0 down, they only had 2 opportunities, but they were hitting the ball very well. Sometimes it feels like you're getting really dominated in the game, but that wasn't really the case in terms of chances. We had some good chances earlier on in that first half as well, but we knew that the lads had that spirit to keep going. The nerves were certainly a part of that. You could see that the lads were cramping up a little bit as well. Equally, Hull are a really good side. The 4 teams that have been included, Sheffield United, Bristol City, Hull and ourselves, are 4 good sides. Tactically as well, a lot of them are playing similar to first team, so our lads have had to deal with that. Hull were a good side and they were causing us some problems playing out through the back. They did that thing where they had a goalkeeper taking short kicks to 2 players either side, and he would just literally do like a 5-yard goal kick, and then they would just stand there waiting, and then the Millwall players would have to rush them. And of course, what does that do? That leaves space behind, so then they would ping it forward, and there would be a gap behind, and then they would spring away. But Kevin Nugent criticising the crowd there. This is 2 o'clock on a Monday, and the crowd. I don't know if the crowd was double what it normally is. They had to open up this blocks 1 and 2. Or normally it's all in block 3. Or no, normally it's all in the exec seat or sponsor seat and a bit of block 3. But they had to open up the whole of block 1 and 2. So it was double. The crowd was double what it was. Now moving on to first team. Here we go. So this is from LondonNewsOnline.co.uk, who talking about the first team today is the Gary Rowett. There have been internal discussions over Millwall's outcry players. So Millwall manager Gary Rowett says that internal discussions are being held over the future of the club's out-contract senior players. Ryan Leonard, Mason Bennett and Scott Malone are all free agents at the start of July. The Lions are set for another squad rebuild this summer after suffering championship playoff heartbreak on the final day of the regulation season. We've got internal discussions on all this type of things, and then we'll make a decision either way, said Rowett, asked by the South London Press about the members of his squad, with only a matter of weeks left to run on their contracts. The conversation really is around how do we regenerate the squad, how do we do what we need to do. All of those players have been some really good performances at different points of this season and previous seasons. In Mason and Lenny's case, injuries played a significant part in him not playing as many games as I'm sure we'd like. Those conversations are ongoing. They've all been really good in different ways for the club and for the team. The question is always going to be, what do we do moving forward? We'll continue to have those internal conversations and then make good decisions. The Millwall set to announce they'll retain this before the end of this week. And that includes, I imagine, some of those under 21s, which it's going to be a bit weird if you say you're going to release an under 21 and then they play in that final. But hope it is what it is, and it will be a good chance for them to turn it on and try and get another contract somewhere else. Yeah. So what is this? This is like financial fair play. This is budgets and stuff. Kind of like when we got relegated and we just had to let players go, even though they were really good and we wanted to keep them because they were the ones that were out of contract, and we just had to cut the budget. So I'm thinking Gary Rowett's like, what's his budget? I don't think it can increase that much. So you're gonna have to take the budget that you got, and then if you cut Mason Bennett, if you cut Ryan Leonard, if you cut a few other players, you're then gonna have to. You can use that money elsewhere. But I don't know. Obviously, we've had a bumper season this season, ticket sales and whatnot. We've got this new membership, international membership, which is unlimited. To be honest, like, in terms of like opening it up to more people, you think there's like, what is it, like 8 billion people around the world, or you think in the developed world, probably like 4 billion. So selling memberships around the world for various things and stuff. That'll bring in a bit more money, and then that might there's a bit more budget for playing staff. But we'll see. Stay or go. What do you think? I like Mason Bennett, but it's a tough one. I like him when he plays well, but he's always injured. So it's like, if you've got a car that you're not allowed to drive, and it's always breaking down, and you have to leave it in the garage. But it's like, it looks good. It's like like a Rolls Royce Phantom. That's an absolutely stunning car, shining silver. It's absolutely brilliant. And then you start the ignition, drive it down the road for about half a mile, and then it breaks down, and you have to get towed back. Like, it's not. Is it worth it? Not really. We need like a Toyota Hilux. We need a car that goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and will get smashed up, dropped off a cliff, burned up, and just keeps going. I think, but we'll see. What do you think? Who stays? Who goes? Now, Gary was asked if Millwall would pursue deal for Barnsley loanee Callum Styles. Again, same question, but more specific. Millwall manager Gary Rowett has discussed the future of Barnsley loanee Callum Styles. The Hungarian international 23 joined the lines at the start of September. The South London Press has reported before that there is a release fee inserted in Styles' contract for the player pending a new long-term deal until 2025 before he was allowed to leave the League One outfit. Styles played 22 times for Millwall, 12 of those starts, but also missed around 3 months of the campaign with a quad injury. First and foremost, he's not our player, so of course there's going to be an element of what his parent club want to do. Rowett told the South London Press when asked about whether the Lions would pursue a deal. Styles had just had a bit of a broken season because of the main injury after Christmas. We were just starting to see him have a good effect on the team before then in different positions. In central midfield, a little wider, coming in as a left wing back. He's a very versatile player. In the end, he's probably going to end up a little bit more central. That's where he plays for his international team. He's a really good player, a technically talented player, and he's a good character. I think he really enjoyed it. It's going to depend on his parents' intentions and any sort of valuation on the player. That's probably as far as I can go talking about it. He's a good player and definitely one you'd look for the long term. Whether that's financially viable is out of my hands. I've enjoyed working with Stylesee. I'm probably a little bit disappointed that I couldn't work with him for the whole season and really try and see his full potential. So yeah. So what is this? What is this release fee? How big is it? Because obviously our record is 1.7 million pounds for Zion. Zion. Um, is it? If it's more than that, then I don't think so. I don't think we're gonna go. If it's around the million, like I don't know, do we have that money? Like again, like I said, in terms of getting budget, do you let Mason Bennett's contract run out? Do you let Ryan Leonard's contract run out? Do you then use that money to bring in Callum Styles? I don't know. Do we sell a player? Do we sell Jake Cooper for whatever it is, 5 million, 10 million, whatever? Do we sell Zion Fleming? I don't know, but yeah, we will see. We will see. Um, like they said the release list is going to be coming out this week sometime, so we'll see. And then we'll all have a talk about it when I make a video there. And now, moving on to this, the latest loan watch, which involves just one player, because for some reason the Scottish League is carrying on and on and on and on and on. It's probably going to go till July. So yeah, Alex Mitchell was an unused substitute at St Johnstone, were defeated 2-0 at home by Motherwell last weekend. The defender who was named the club's Young Player of the Year last week was absent from the field as the Saints continue to look over their shoulder in the Central Premiership. The club now 5 points off the bottom of 3 matches remaining. So yeah, looks like they will be going into June. So obviously they're playing this week. We'll see if he gets on the pitch. Again, so they've got this really experienced centre-back Considine, who's kind of playing the role that Mitchell can play. Mitchell not being a ball-playing central defender. So he's kind of been left out of the team, but not really working out for you, is it, St John? So what do I know? Now, under 18s, I told you about this the other day. They lost. They lost in their playoff the other day. I think it was on Saturday, wasn't it? Saturday morning. Millwall under 18s were defeated 1-0 by Barnsley in the professional league playoff semi-final on Saturday. And that's all we get. We just get the news that it happened. But if you go to the other side, what does it look like from the other side? Well, there's actually a decent match report from BarnsleyFC.co.uk, and they mention Millwall in it quite a few times, which is kind of weird. Some match reports, they don't even mention the opposition at all. They just talk about their own team. But this one is pretty balanced. It's written by Rob Mathers, so fair play to you, Rob. Obviously, this is... I'm going to have to translate this. So Barnsley's under 18 secured their place in the Professional Development League playoff final with a dramatic 1-0 victory over Millwall at Oakwell on Saturday afternoon. In Mesa and Zondo's last gasp strike sparked scenes of pure jubilation for the Young Reds, who set up a showpiece finale against Charlton Athletic next weekend. It was no less than Nicky Eden's side deserved, having dominated the counter for large spells, attacking with intent and remaining resolute at the back. After a cagey opening, the first chance of the game went to Barnsley under 18s as they impressively played the ball to the right wing before Fabio Giallo was caught a heavy challenge. Hayden Pickard stood over the resulting free kick and picked out our trialist in the box, but his headed effort sailed just wide of the mark. Midway through the half, Millwall spurned a decent opportunity of their own, ballooning a header over the bar after neat, intricate build-up play. The Lions seemed certain to break the deadlock just before the break in a chaotic goalmouth scramble following a corner. First Barnsley Stylesee flung himself in front of a shot before the resulting rebound was matched by a fine save from Rogan Ravenhill, who pushed the ball to safety. Half-time, 0-0. Millwall came out of the gates with intent to score, and they almost grabbed a goal straight after the restart, but Ravenhill was equal to the low attempt as it threatened to squirm into the far post. Shortly after, Barnsley began to dominate proceeding, constantly pressuring the Millwall backline with dangerous attacking play, as both Pickard and Theo Chapman saw deflected efforts whistle past the upright. Eden looked to his bench as he brought on Vermao Yonganathan and Nzondo in place of Matizol and Hosea Dyer. That rhymes, and in a bid to inject more energy into the final third. As the clock hit 90 minutes, Barnsley's tenacious under-18s found the winner. Clever click throw in from Jonathan Bland found Yarlow in the area, who just managed to get a touch on the ball, send it into the 6-yard box. The on-rushing Zondo was on the hand to emphatically sweep home into the back of the net before wheeling away in jubilation. Incredible scenes ensued as the entire team mobbed Barnsley's late hero, celebrated making history once more by reaching the playoff final. And yeah, there you go. So a decent match report. A lot going on for Millwall in that. And we're going to end today's video by just watching this.
22-23 PBL South champions. Millwall's under-21s.
And on that note, thank you and goodbye.